All right, today we are getting under the hood of India's largest company, Reliance Industries. We're going to decode their latest quarterly report because, trust me, behind all those big numbers is a really fascinating story about where this giant is headed. Let's get into it.
It's the big question, right? But with a company like Reliance, it's never just one simple answer. They've got their hands in everything: telecom, retail, energy, you name it. But we have to start somewhere. So let's start with the big, eye-popping number.
There it is, a 10% jump in revenue. Now, for a company of this sheer size, that is a huge deal. It shows some serious momentum. But what's really interesting is what's actually driving that number. Yeah, this isn't just one part of the company doing well. It's like having two massive engines firing at the exact same time. You've got the new consumer businesses, think geo and retail, absolutely booming, right alongside their traditional cash-generating energy business. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the overall report card. Then we're going to zoom right into the digital powerhouse, Geo. After that, we'll check out what's happening in retail, then the fascinating story in their energy business, and we'll wrap it all up with the big takeaways.
First up, Section 1. Let's take a look at the overall financial health of this massive company.
Okay, so as we saw, revenue growth was really strong, thanks mostly to those consumer businesses. Earnings also saw a healthy 6% bump, powered by the oil and chemicals side. But look at that net profit growth. A lot more modest, right? So what's going on? Well, it comes down to one word: investment. They are spending a ton of money rolling out their 5G network across the country. And you know what? Credit agencies see that long-term vision, which is why S&P actually upgraded their rating, liking the strength of their diversified business. All right, now for Section 2. Let's peel back that first layer and look at one of those growth engines, the absolute behemoth that is Geo. Just take a second and look at that number. 515 million subscribers. It's hard to even wrap your head around. That makes Geo one of the biggest telecom players on the entire planet. And they're still growing, adding almost 9 million new customers just in this past quarter.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Look at the split. In a very short amount of time, they've moved nearly half of their gigantic user base over to 5G. In fact, more than half of all the data running on Geo's network is now on 5G. That frees up the old 4G network and just makes everything better for everyone.
And this right here? This is their secret sauce. See, a lot of companies buy their network tech from other vendors. Not Geo. They built their entire 4G and 5G system themselves, in-house. That gives them incredible control over costs, over how fast they can scale, and how quickly they can innovate. It's a huge strategic advantage. So, you're going to hear this term ARPU a lot in the telecom world. All it means is average revenue per user, and Geo's is growing. What's so clever is that they've done it by getting customers to use more data and upgrade their plans, all without a big, scary headline price hike. Okay, on to Section 3 and the other consumer giant, Reliance Retail. And the big story this quarter? Oh, it's all about their massive push into super fast delivery, or what we call quick commerce. And their strategy here is just brilliant. They aren't building everything from scratch. They are taking their massive footprint of almost 20,000 physical stores, and they're basically turning over 3,000 of them into mini fulfillment centers. This gives them an absolutely unmatched reach across the country. So, what are people ordering? Well, no surprise, half of it is groceries and fresh produce. And this is key, because getting someone to order their veggies from you every other day builds a really powerful customer habit and loyalty. In fact, about 1 in 3 of their orders has fresh food in it, which drives way more repeat business. Let that number just sink in for a minute. A 360% increase in daily orders from last year. That's not just growth, that's an absolute explosion into this space. It really shows how serious they are about this. Okay, let's switch gears completely. We're going from the new consumer businesses to the very foundation of the Reliance empire, the energy business. And what's happening here is this amazing story of an old business funding a radical new future. So here's the dual strategy. On one side, you have the profitable oil to chemicals business. It's a total cash cow, just churning out billions in profit. And on the other side, they are taking all that cash and plowing it directly into building one of the most ambitious green energy ecosystems in the world. And to give you an idea of how big this future bet is,
They're about to fire up a fully integrated solar gigafactory with a capacity of 10 gigawatts a year. And get this, they've already announced plans to double that to 20. They're building the entire supply chain from the ground up. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's step back and pull this all together in our final section. What does it all mean? What are the big things to take away from this quarter?
So, 4 big things. First, Geo's dominance is real, and it's built on massive scale and owning its own tech. Second, the retail business is in the middle of a revolution, pivoting hard into quick commerce. Third, the energy story is all about transition, using today's profits to build tomorrow's green energy giants. And finally, all of this is built on a rock-solid financial foundation that gives them the stability to make these huge long-term bets.
So when you look at these results, you see a company that's not just winning in today's world, but is aggressively building the machinery to dominate the world of tomorrow. It really leaves you with a fascinating question to think about for the years to come.